I used to think my life was simple, even if it wasn't easy. I didn't have much, just a tiny room, a worn-out routine, and the kind of dreams people laughed at, but I always tried to stay strong. I told myself that surviving was enough, that moving forward counted for something. Maybe I believed it because Lena once told me I was tougher than I looked. I held on to those words. "I swear, you act like a saint," I remembered telling her once, teasing her gently. She laughed, nudging my shoulder, saying, "Well, someone has to keep you from disappearing into your own misery." That night, I walked to her house thinking I'd surprise her. I imagined her smile, the way she would say my name softly. I wasn't supposed to be standing outside her door when her voice floated out. But I froze when I heard my name mixed with laughter. "Lena, seriously, how long are you going to babysit him?" one of her friends snickered. "I don't know," Lena replied, sounding annoyed. "He's just dead weight. I mean, look at his life. He can't offer me anything." My heart thudded so hard I thought they would hear it. "He loves you so much," her other friend said. "Yeah," Lena scoffed, "and that's the problem. He loves me like that's enough. I'm not going to waste my youth on someone who can't even afford to dream. I'm just waiting until someone better shows up." I felt the world tilt. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I kept thinking maybe I misunderstood her words, maybe she was joking, maybe something, anything, could make those sentences untrue. But the laughter that followed crushed every excuse I tried to create. I knocked without realizing it. The room went silent inside. When the door opened and Lena saw me, her eyes widened for half a second before she crossed her arms like nothing happened. "What are you doing here?" she asked, her voice cold. "I heard you," I whispered. "Everything you said." Her friends shifted uncomfortably behind her, but Lena didn't flinch. "And? Why were you listening outside the door anyway?" "What do you mean, and?" I asked, my voice shaking. "You called me dead weight. You said you're waiting for someone better." "Because it's true," she said bluntly. "Why are you acting surprised?" I took a step back. "Lena," I thought. "That's your problem," she cut in sharply. "You think too much. You expect too much. I never promised you anything serious. You held my hand," I breathed. "You told me I mattered." "That was pity," she said. "Don't take it personally." Something cracked inside me. "So I'm just a burden to you?" She shrugged. "Look at your life. What do you actually bring to the table? You should be grateful I even gave you attention." Her friends avoided my eyes, but Lena's stare was steady, almost bored. I felt my throat tighten as if the air had turned to smoke. "I loved you," I managed to say. "That's not my fault," she replied. The word stabbed deeper than anything else. I looked at her, hoping to find some trace of the girl I thought I knew. But she was gone, or maybe she was never real. "I don't want drama here," she added, waving her hand dismissively. "Just leave, okay? I'm tired." "Tired of me?" I asked. "Tired of pretending," she said. That was the moment something inside me fell apart. I stepped back from the doorway, feeling like the ground under my feet dissolved. My chest felt hollow, my vision blurry, but I didn't want to cry in front of her. "Fine," I whispered. "I'll go." She didn't say anything. She didn't reach for me. She didn't even look guilty. She just closed the door as if I were a stranger who showed up by mistake. I walked away slowly, the night air hitting me like ice. Every step felt heavier, like I was dragging the broken pieces of myself behind me. I kept hearing her voice in my head, dead weight, waiting for someone better, pity. Each word carved itself deeper into me. When I reached the street, I finally stopped. I looked back once, seeing the faint light from her window. It felt like the last warmth I had was fading. I whispered to myself, what did I do wrong? but the silence answered for me. My life wasn't simple anymore. It wasn't peaceful. It was shattered, and I didn't know how to hold any of it together. The weight pressed on my chest, making every breath feel slow and painful. I felt completely lost there. That night became the breaking point, the moment everything inside me changed. I walked home alone, carrying a pain I didn't know how to name. I didn't sleep the night after everything happened. I lay there staring at the ceiling, replaying Lena's voice in loops I couldn't escape. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard her say dead weight. I pressed my palms against my ears at one point, whispering, "Stop, please stop," but nothing stopped. By morning, I felt like I had been scraped hollow. Rafi knocked on my door around noon, calling out, "Bro. You alive in there?" I didn't want to answer, but he kept knocking until I opened the door. "You look like hell," he said immediately. "I'm fine," I lied. He raised an eyebrow. "Yeah. And I'm the mayor." I tried to smile, but it hurt. "I just didn't sleep." "No kidding. What's going on?" he asked, stepping inside. "You're moving like someone unplugged your soul." "Nothing," I muttered. "Liar." I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at my shaking hands. Rafi watched me for a moment and said softly, "Talk to me." "I can't," I whispered. "Why not?" "Because I felt ashamed. Because I felt stupid. Because I let someone break me so easily." But I didn't know how to say that, so I just shook my head. Rafi sighed. "All right. I'm not pushing. But I'm here." He left after a few minutes, but the silence that followed hit harder. I checked my phone more times than I could count. I sent Lena a message, "We need to talk," then deleted it. Then typed it again. Then deleted it again. My chest tightened every time I hovered over send. Eventually, I sent a single word, "Please." No reply. Hours passed. My stomach twisted from hunger, but I couldn't eat. Every second felt heavy, like time itself wanted to crush me. By evening, Rafi came back with food. "You didn't eat all day," he said, placing the bag in front of me. "I'm not hungry." "Bullshit. Eat." I said I'm not hungry, I snapped, surprising both of us with the sharpness in my voice. Rafi didn't react with irritation. He just sat down next to me. "Bro, what happened?" I swallowed hard. "Nothing important." He looked at me, really looked, and the silence stretched until it felt unbearable. I finally muttered, "She hasn't replied." "Lena?" he asked. I nodded. He blew out a slow breath. "All right. What did she do?" "Nothing," I lied again, voice trembling. "Don't make me drag it out of you," he said. "You're my brother. Tell me." His words cracked something inside me. I covered my face with my hands. She said things." "What things?" "She called me dead weight," I whispered. "Said she was waiting for someone better. Said she only stayed with me because she pitied me." Rafi's jaw clenched. "She said that to your face?" "No. I heard her say it to her friends." I felt my throat tighten again. I wasn't supposed to hear it. Rafi leaned back, silent for a moment before saying, "Damn. I know. No, I mean, damn, bro. That's cruel." "It's true, though," I said quietly. "She's not wrong." "Don't start that," he snapped gently. "Whatever problems you have, that doesn't give her permission to treat you like trash." "She's ignoring me," I said. "I messaged her, nothing." "Good," he said. "She doesn't deserve you." I laughed bitterly. "You're just saying that because you're my friend." "Yeah, I am," he said. "That's what friends do. They tell you when someone's bad for you." I stared at the floor. I trusted her. I know. I loved her. I know. I feel like an idiot. You're not. I feel small. You're not. He put a hand on my shoulder. Listen to me. What she said, that's on her. Not on you. People show who they are when they think no one's listening. I didn't answer. I couldn't. The ache in my chest felt too big. Rafi sighed. Look, I'm not going to pretend you're okay. You're not. But you don't have to deal with this alone. I don't want to talk to anyone, I murmured. That's fine. Then don't talk. Just don't shut me out. I looked at him, exhausted. I don't know how to heal from this. You don't have to know yet, he said. You just have to breathe. One day at a time. I've got you. For the first time since that night, my eyes filled. I blinked hard, trying to stop the tears, but a few escaped anyway. Rafi didn't judge me. He didn't say anything. He just sat there quietly, letting me break without running away. And in that silence, I realized that maybe I hadn't lost everything. Not yet. I spent the next few days drifting through life like a shadow. I tried to pretend I was fine, but every time my phone buzzed, I hoped it was Lena. It never was. Rafi stayed close, but even he couldn't reach the part of me that felt crushed. On the fourth morning, my phone rang with a number I didn't recognize. I almost ignored it, but something made me answer. Hello? I said weakly. Finally, a familiar voice replied. I was starting to think you changed your number. My breath caught. Professor Hale. So you do remember me, he said with a small chuckle. Of course I remember you, I said. I just haven't heard from you in years. Yes, well, that's partly my fault, he admitted. But tell me, how are you? I hesitated. I'm surviving. That translates to terrible, he said. I can hear it in your voice. What happened? Nothing, I muttered. Don't lie to an old man, he said. Your voice sounds like you're carrying a mountain. Talk to me. I can't, I whispered. You can, he insisted gently. But I won't force you. Instead, let me tell you why I called. I swallowed hard. Okay. There's a program starting next month, he said. A training initiative for students with strong analytical and leadership potential. They're offering full scholarships, housing, meals, everything. I blinked in confusion. Why are you telling me this? Because I recommended you. What? Why would you? Because I've always seen something in you, he said. I've watched you work harder than students who had 10 times your resources. You have potential most people never discover. I rubbed the back of my neck. I don't think I'm that person anymore. Everyone feels broken at some point, he said quietly. But broken doesn't mean useless. It just means you're at a turning point. I stared at the floor, my chest tightening. I don't know if I can do it. That's exactly why you should, he replied. You need a new place, a new start, a new version of yourself. Let this be that. I don't know, I said again. Then let me ask you, he continued, do you want to stay where you are, drowning in whatever pain you're hiding? Or do you want a way out? The question hit deeper than I expected. I just feel empty. I know, he said. But opportunities like this don't come twice. Take it. Build yourself again. What if I fail? You won't, he said. But even if you did, failing while trying is better than dying while standing still. I let out a shaky breath. Professor. I don't think I deserve this. You deserve more than you realize, he said. And if no one else believes in you right now, let me be the first. For a long moment, I didn't speak. Then I whispered, what do I have to do? Pack. Travel to the city. Show up with the courage to start over. That sounds big. It is, he said. But you're ready. I'm not sure I am. Then trust my judgment, he said warmly. I wouldn't offer you this if you weren't capable. I felt something shift inside me, a tiny spark, fragile but real. Okay, I said finally. I'll do it. Good, he said. I'll send you all the details. Anne. I'm proud of you, son. The word son hit me harder than I expected. Thank you, I whispered. After the call ended, I sat there staring at the wall. For the first time since Lena's betrayal, I felt something other than pain. It wasn't hope, not yet, but it was close. Rafi walked into my room without knocking. You look like you saw a ghost. I got a call, I said. From who? Professor Hale. Rafi froze. Wait, the Professor Hale? The one who used to push you like crazy? Yeah. And? He offered me a scholarship. A full program. In another city. Rafi's eyes widened. Bro. That's huge. That's life-changing. I don't know if I'm ready, I said. You're more ready than you think. I'm scared. Good, he said. It means you're doing something big. I took a deep breath. I'm leaving. When? Soon. I'm not telling Lena. Good, he muttered. She doesn't deserve a goodbye. I'm leaving because I don't want to feel weak ever again. Rafi patted my shoulder. Then go become someone stronger. And for the first time, I believed I could. The city felt bigger than I remembered. When I stepped off the bus, my bag over my shoulder, I whispered to myself, don't panic. Just breathe. But my heart still thudded like I was walking into a battlefield instead of a training program. Inside the campus building, a woman at the front desk looked up. Name? Aiden, I said. I'm new. Orientation is down the hall, room 204. I nodded and followed her directions, trying not to look lost. When I pushed open the door, a dozen faces turned toward me. I froze for half a second before a girl snapped, "You're late." I blinked at her. Sorry. She crossed her arms. Orientation started at 9 sharp. It's 9:08. I cleared my throat. 8 minutes. 8 minutes is 8 minutes, she shot back. A guy sitting beside her laughed and nudged her. Relax, Maya. Let the man breathe. Maya, I repeated under my breath. So this was her. She narrowed her eyes. Do you have something to say? No, I said quickly. Just finding a seat. The cheerful guy waved me over. Sit next to me. I'm Jonas. And don't mind her, she was probably born with a stopwatch in her hand. Maya glared at him, but he just grinned. Thanks, I said, dropping into the chair. You nervous? Jonas asked. A little. He leaned closer. Everyone is. Some of us just pretend better than others. Maya muttered, speak for yourself. Jonas whispered, especially her. I tried not to smile. The instructor walked in and began explaining the program, schedules, training expectations, academic load. My mind drifted for a moment, wondering if Lena would have mocked me for sitting here. I pushed her name away. I didn't come here to remember her. When the session ended, Jonas stretched. Man, this is going to be intense. Yeah, I said. Maya approached me, arms folded. Rule 1, show up on time tomorrow. I will, I said. She studied me for a second. Good. We need people who take this seriously. After she walked away, Jonas snorted. She's like that with everyone. Don't take it personally. It's fine, I said. I probably needed that. You okay, though? He asked. Just adjusting. Well, he said, slapping my shoulder lightly, adjust with food. Cafeteria? I hesitated. Sure. Over lunch, Jonas talked non-stop, about his goals, his village, his dream of doing something big enough that people would remember his name. When he finally paused, he asked, "What about you? What brought you here?" The air caught in my throat. I needed a fresh start. That's vague, he said. That's all I can say right now. He raised his hands. Fair enough. Everyone's running from something. I didn't answer, but he wasn't wrong. The first week almost broke me. Physical training at dawn. Classes till evening. Projects at night. My muscles burned, my mind buzzed, and every time I lay in bed, I felt the echo of old wounds tugging at me. During drills one morning, Maya stood beside me. Your form is sloppy. I'm trying. Try harder. I frowned. Do you ever say anything encouraging? That was encouraging. I groaned. How? You're capable of more. I'm telling you to reach it. Her tone wasn't mocking, it was matter of fact. Somehow, that made it hit deeper. One night, while I was struggling with an assignment, Maya appeared again. You're solving it wrong. I sighed. Of course I am. She pulled up a chair. Show me what you tried. I handed her the paper. She studied it, then said, You think too much from the middle. Start from the beginning. The foundation matters. I stared at her. Why are you helping me? Because you're not stupid, she said. Just distracted. She said it so plainly that it felt like a slap and a lifeline at the same time. Thanks, I murmured. Don't thank me, she said. Just improve. Jonas, on the other hand, kept me sane. During breaks, he dragged me outside to breathe. You're always tense, he said one afternoon. I'm adjusting, I replied. You mean suffering, he laughed. But don't worry, suffering builds character. You say that like it's supposed to help. It does. Eventually. He nudged me lightly. You're getting better, you know. You think so? Yeah. You walk straighter. You don't look like a ghost anymore. I exhaled slowly. That's good to hear. Whatever happened before you came here, he said softly, you don't have to carry all of it alone. The words hit something inside me, but I only said, I'm working on it. Weeks passed, and something strange began to happen. I started waking up with purpose. I started finishing tasks early. I started staying after class to practice. Maya noticed. Good, she said during a drill. Now keep going. Jonas noticed too. Look at you, he said one evening. Mr. Focused. I smiled slightly. Feels different. Feels like growth, he said. I didn't deny it. Every night, lying on my bed, I felt the wounds inside me still there, but quieter. The pain didn't vanish, but it stopped controlling me. I started feeling like maybe I wasn't broken beyond repair. One night, staring at the ceiling, I whispered to myself, I'm not done. Not yet. And for the first time, I believed it. I was in my office when my phone buzzed. I glanced down at the screen. Lena. I stared at it, my fingers frozen. I hadn't heard her name in years. Not once. I didn't answer. She texted again a few minutes later, I need to see you. Please. I ignored it. Another message, I've made terrible mistakes. I know I don't deserve your time, but I need to apologize. I put my phone face down. I didn't want to feel anything. I had spent years building a life where her voice didn't exist. And now, she was back, trying to reopen wounds I'd long buried. Rafi noticed my tension later. Who's texting you like that? He asked casually. Old acquaintance, I said. Acquaintance, he teased. You look like you swallowed a rock. It's nothing, I muttered. By the third message, I sighed. Fine. I'll meet you. I typed, hesitated, then hit send. We agreed on a small cafe in the city. When I arrived, she was already there. She looked different. Not just older, but smaller, worn. The pride I remembered was gone, replaced by a fragile vulnerability. Hi, she said quietly. Lena, I replied, my voice flat. She looked at me, and for a moment, I thought she might cry. I'm sorry, she said. For everything. For how I treated you. I was selfish. Stop, I interrupted. I don't need you to explain. She flinched, but her voice remained steady. I made mistakes. Big ones. And my life, it didn't turn out the way I thought it would. I lost so much, Aiden. I studied her. She seemed smaller than the memory I had carried. The girl who mocked me, who pushed me away, I was seeing the shell of someone who had finally faced consequences. And you expect me to? I asked. Nothing, she said quickly. I just needed to tell you. I needed you to know. I leaned back, folding my arms. I've spent years building a life without you. A life where your words don't hurt me. And now you show up, hoping, what? Forgiveness? No, she exclaimed, her voice breaking slightly. I don't deserve that. I don't expect that. I just needed to face you. There was a pause. The cafe was quiet around us, but inside me, it was louder than ever. Anger. Pity. Cold satisfaction. You look tired, I said finally. She nodded. I am. Life, it's been hard. I thought I could have it all, and I ended up losing myself. Funny, I muttered. I used to think you were untouchable. I was foolish, she admitted. I hurt you. I betrayed you. And I regret it every day. I said nothing. I just looked at her, letting her confession hang in the air. I could feel the old wound beneath my chest, but it wasn't bleeding anymore. Not like before. I don't know what I expected, she whispered. Maybe that you'd forgive me. Maybe that I could fix what I broke. I shook my head slightly. Some things can't be fixed. You can't erase what you did. But I've changed. I've grown. And I don't need the past to define me anymore. Her eyes glistened. I see that. I wish I could have been different. Me too, I said softly, though it wasn't for her, it was for the younger version of me who trusted too easily. She looked down at her hands. I guess, this is goodbye, then. I nodded. Yes. Goodbye, Lena. She exhaled, a mixture of relief and sorrow. Thank you, for listening. I stood up, feeling the weight of years lift slightly. My chest tightened for a second, but it wasn't pain. It was the calm that comes from seeing the storm pass. As I walked away, I realized something. The past could try to haunt me, but I was stronger now. And I wasn't the same boy who would crumble at her words. I had grown. I had survived. And no one, not even Lena, could take that away. She called me a week after our meeting. Aiden, can you come over? Please. I need someone to talk to. I hesitated. Part of me wanted to ignore her. Another part, curiosity, maybe. I agreed. When I arrived, the door opened to a place that smelled faintly of dust and neglect. Lena looked smaller than I remembered, her clothes loose, her hair tangled. Her eyes were red, but not from anger, from exhaustion. I'm so sorry, she whispered. Everything. I was wrong. I didn't respond at first. I just watched her, noticing the tremor in her hands, the way she avoided eye contact. They all left me, she said, her voice barely audible. The guy I left you for, he used me. Took everything and disappeared. My family, they don't even speak to me anymore. I lost my job. My apartment. My pride. I felt a twinge of something I couldn't name. Pity. Satisfaction. I clenched my jaw. I wish I had chosen you, she continued, tears rolling down her cheeks. You always believed in me, supported me. I was so stupid. I swallowed. The memory of her laughter with her friends, the words she had said about me, it was still fresh, like a scar that refused to fade. I don't know what to say, I admitted. You don't have to say anything, she whispered. I just needed to tell someone. I can't face anyone else. Her words made my chest tighten. Part of me wanted to comfort her, to tell her it would be okay. Another part remembered the boy I used to be, the one she crushed without a second thought. I can't fix what happened, I said finally. You made your choices. I know, she said, lowering her gaze. I just wanted you to know. The door creaked, and a tall man stepped inside. Who's this? He asked, voice sharp. This is Adrian, Lena muttered, avoiding my eyes. Lena, he said, sneering. You actually let him in. I needed someone, she said quietly. I don't see why you ever did, he scoffed. Look at you. Pathetic. I stared at him. Is this how you treat your sister? Mind your own business, he snapped. She's made her bed. Let her lie in it. I glanced at Lena. She flinched. I'm sorry about him, I said softly. It's fine, she whispered, but I could hear the hurt beneath her words. I paused, then asked, do you even have anyone else? No, she admitted. Not really. I burned bridges everywhere. I was so proud, I didn't see what I had until it was gone. I took a step closer. And now? Now? She asked, looking up. Her eyes were raw. Now. I just survive. I wake up every day wondering what I could have done differently. If I had been honest. If I had chosen better. I clenched my fists at my sides. Better? I echoed, my voice tight. Do you mean me? She nodded slowly. You were better than I realized. I was too blind, too greedy, too foolish. You hurt me, I said softly. Do you understand that? Yes, she whispered, almost trembling. I understand. Every day, I remember. I didn't reply immediately. Part of me wanted to pull her into an embrace, to ease the suffering she had brought upon herself. Another part of me wanted to leave, to let her feel the emptiness she had caused in me. I can't change the past, I said finally. But, seeing you like this. I can't ignore it either. Thank you, she murmured. I needed someone to see me as I am now. Not the girl I pretended to be. I nodded, my throat tight. I see you. Every scar, every mistake, every consequence. Adrian huffed from the corner. What are you doing, Aiden? Feeling sorry for her now? No, I said sharply, looking at him. I'm just seeing the truth. And the truth is, she made her choices. And now, she has to live with them. Lena's shoulders slumped. I understand, she whispered. I took a step back, feeling the weight of years pressing down. She was broken. Her pride was gone. But so was the power she once held over me. I left her apartment that day, my chest heavy but clear. Karma had done its work. And for the first time, I felt free. I hadn't expected Lena to try again. Not after everything, but there she was, standing outside my office building, looking hesitant, vulnerable, like a cat testing the water. "Aiden," she said softly. I didn't move. "Yes. I just wanted to talk. Maybe we can start over." I felt the old sting, but it was different now, sharper, colder. "Start over?" I echoed. "Do you mean repeat the same mistakes, or actually face what you did?" Her eyes flickered downward. "I know I hurt you. Stop," I said, holding up a hand. "You already said all of that. I know what you did. I lived through it. I've changed," she whispered. I realize now that I was wrong. I don't want to lose you." I studied her, watching the way she fidgeted, the way her confidence had evaporated. She looked small, fragile, like someone who had finally met the consequences she once ignored. "Do you even understand what you're asking?" I asked quietly. "Do you know how much damage you caused?" "Yes," she said. "I know. I thought maybe we could." "Maybe we could what?" I interrupted. "Undo years of betrayal? Pretend the nights I spent broken meant nothing? Lena, you can't just apologize and expect me to give you the same place in my life." She swallowed hard. I miss what we had." I shook my head slowly. "What we had? That never existed for me the way it did for you. You were waiting for someone better. I was just a placeholder. Do you even realize what that feels like?" She flinched. I do now. "And that's why you stay here?" I asked. "Trying to convince yourself you're worthy of a second chance?" She looked away, quiet for a moment. Then softly, I guess." I exhaled. "Lena, I'm not cruel. I'm not here to punish you. But you need to see the truth. You need to feel the weight of your choices without me holding your hand through it." Her lip trembled. "So, this is it? For you?" I asked. "Yes. For me, it's freedom. You see, Lena, I've changed. I've built myself without you. I've grown stronger, smarter, and better. And that isn't something you get to step back into." Her eyes widened, just slightly, as if she hadn't realized how much I'd changed. "Better," she whispered. "Yes," I said firmly. "Better. I've surrounded myself with people who actually value me. Like Maya." I smiled faintly. "And Jonas. You'd barely recognize the life I've built." You're different," she admitted. I never imagined this. You're thriving." I nodded. "Thriving without the weight of someone who didn't see my worth. That's the reality now, Lena. You feel small, don't you?" She didn't answer immediately, but the way she slouched, the tilt of her head, it spoke louder than words. She felt the shift. The power balance reversed. I guess I do," she murmured finally. "I never thought you'd be like this." I crossed my arms. "And that's the point. I'm not who I was. I'm not here for you to redeem yourself through me." I understand," she said quietly, almost as if she were agreeing with herself more than with me. "Good," I said. "Now, you need to face the reality of your life without me. Learn from your mistakes. Grow, if you can." Her lips parted, as if she wanted to argue, to plead, but she didn't. I could see it in her eyes, the recognition that she'd lost her chance. A few days later, Maya and Jonas arrived in my city. I met them at the cafe where Lena had first tried to reconnect. Jonas grinned, pulling me into a bear hug. Man! You've changed. Look at you. I've been working, I said with a smile. Maya laughed lightly. And thriving. I can see it in you. You're confident. Grounded. Someone I respect, Aiden. Someone who's learned to stand strong. I nodded, feeling the truth of her words. This was my life now. Strong, steady, unshakable. Lena appeared again, coincidentally passing by the cafe. When she saw us, her expression froze. She watched the way I laughed with Jonas, the way Maya leaned in to discuss something with me. I caught her gaze briefly. Her mouth opened, but no words came. She realized, in that moment, how far I had moved on. How independent, how alive I was. I looked back at her calmly. See that, Lena? This is what I've built without you. And it's exactly what you lost. Her shoulders slumped. She looked away, small and hesitant, just like I had felt years ago. The roles had reversed. The emotional balance had shifted. That night, lying in my apartment, I thought about her. Should I forgive her? Should I cut her out forever? Or should I let karma speak for me? I smiled faintly. She already has, I whispered. She's learned. I've grown. And I'm free. I felt a weight lift from my chest. Anger, grief, betrayal, they were no longer chains around me. I had taken back my power. My life was mine again. And no one, not even Lena, could take it away. I didn't expect her to come back. Not again. But there she was, standing at the edge of the park where I often met Jonas and Maya, her hands trembling. Aiden, she called, voice breaking. I kept walking. Yes. She stepped closer, urgency in her steps. Please, just listen. I stopped, arms crossed. I'm listening. Her eyes filled with tears. I made mistakes. I hurt you. I was selfish, proud, foolish. I thought I was untouchable, but I wasn't. I lost everything. And I realized that you were the only person who ever truly cared. I heard all of that before, I said quietly, studying her. But you're here again. Why? Because I don't want to lose you again, she said, her voice cracking. I know I don't deserve it. I know I can't fix the past. But, please. Don't leave me. Not now. I felt the old pain rising, the anger, the heartbreak I thought I had buried. My chest tightened. I wanted to reach out, to tell her it was okay, to console her. But I was not that boy anymore. You've begged before, I said, voice calm. And I listened. And I suffered. I lost myself. I know, she whispered. I know. But I'm begging because I've learned. I've changed. You've learned, I repeated. And that's good. That's enough. But it doesn't mean we go back. It doesn't mean I go back. Her shoulders slumped. So, you're leaving me? I'm choosing myself, I said firmly. I'm choosing the life I've built. The people who lift me up. The person I've become because of what you took from me, and because I decided to grow. She fell to her knees, hands covering her face. Please. I can't. I don't. I can't do this alone. I never promised to fix you, I said softly, kneeling slightly to meet her eyes. I can't. I won't. Forgiveness doesn't mean returning to the past. It means learning from it and moving forward. Tears streamed down her cheeks. I was so wrong. I didn't realize. You realized, I said, standing up. And that's enough for you. For me, it's too late. She looked at me then, and I saw everything, her regret, her pain, her selfishness. And beneath it all, a flicker of the girl I once loved. I felt a pang, but it was tempered by the strength I had earned over the years. I wanted to be better, she said quietly. I thought I could make it right. You can, I admitted. But not with me. You have to face it yourself. Her lips trembled, but she didn't speak again. I took a deep breath. The decision didn't feel cruel. It felt necessary. I hope you learn from this, I said. I hope you find peace. But I can't be part of your recovery. That time is over. She nodded slowly, tears still falling. I understand, she whispered. I turned away, walking down the path with calm steps. My chest felt lighter with each one. With every step, I shed the boy who once let her words and actions define him. I heard her voice call after me. Aiden. I didn't stop. I didn't look back. When I reached the cafe where Maya, Jonas, and Rafi were waiting, I felt the warmth of their laughter, the ease of their companionship. Jonas waved, grinning. About time. Thought you'd disappeared. I had some unfinished business, I said lightly, taking a seat. Maya leaned forward. You look different. Stronger. Calm. I've had to be, I admitted. Some lessons are harsh, but necessary. Rafi smirked. You mean Lena? I nodded slightly, smiling faintly. Yes. She reminded me of what I lost. But more importantly, she reminded me of what I gained, me. My strength. My life. My people. Jonas raised his cup. To Aiden. For taking back what was his all along. I clinked my cup with his. To growth, I said. To choosing ourselves. I sat there, feeling the peace I hadn't known for years. The anger, the grief, the heartbreak, they were no longer chains around me. They were reminders of the strength I'd earned, of the life I'd built through my own effort. And in that moment, I understood something crucial: some betrayals aren't punishments, they're gifts in disguise. They force you to rise, to rebuild, to reclaim yourself. I looked out the window, the city lights sparkling. I thought of Lena, small and lost, learning the hard way what she had taken for granted. And I smiled faintly, not from cruelty, but from clarity. I was free. I had chosen me. And that choice would define the rest of my life. The mornings are quiet now. The city hums below, but up here, in my apartment, it feels like I've carved out a piece of the world just for me. Jonas bursts in as usual. Aiden. You're late again. I wasn't late, I reply with a smirk, grabbing a coffee. Maya laughs from the kitchen. He was late, she says, rolling her eyes. Fine, fine, I concede. But only by 5 minutes. Rafi joins in, grinning. You two should stop policing him. He's finally learned to prioritize himself. I smile at that. I've learned. I've built this life deliberately, without anyone's approval or interference. I've focused on growth, on purpose, on people who lift me up rather than tear me down. Speaking of growth, Maya says, how's the project coming? Better than I expected, I answer. I'm actually proud of it. And it's only the beginning. Jonas leans back, arms behind his head. You've come a long way. Remember when you were broken, months ago? I chuckle softly. Feels like years ago. A different life. A different me. Rafi smirks. And Lena? I pause, letting the name hang. I feel no anger, no longing. Only clarity. She's gone. Out of my world. And I don't need her here. Maya tilts her head. And that feels good. It feels right, I say firmly. I've realized something important. True revenge isn't bitterness or confrontation. It's success, peace, and living well. That's the only closure I need. Jonas nods. Sounds like you've finally outgrown the boy who once begged for her love. I take a deep breath, thinking back to the nights I spent shattered, replaying every cruel word she'd said, every betrayal. I remember the pain vividly, but it no longer defines me. She won't get this, I murmur, almost to myself. Maya looks at me, curious. Get what? The life I've built. The dreams I'm chasing. The people I have who actually matter. She'll never touch it. And that's liberating. Rafi leans back, smiling. You've turned your pain into power. That's impressive. I nod slowly. It's not about revenge. It's about reclaiming myself. Every step I take now is mine. Not hers, not anyone else's. Mine. Jonas laughs. Sounds like someone's finally living on their own terms. I am, I confirm. And I don't need her apology, her tears, her confessions. I don't need her at all. I needed her once, yes, but that version of me is gone. I'm done begging for love that was never real. I'm done being someone else's placeholder. Maya smiles softly. And that feels powerful, doesn't it? It does, I admit. It feels like air. Like I've been underwater for years and finally surfaced. Jonas leans forward. So, what now? You just keep building. Yes, I say with conviction. I focus on my dreams, my work, my friendships. I focus on being someone I respect. Someone I love. And that's enough. Rafi raises his coffee cup. To that, then. To living well, to being untouchable by the past. I clink my cup with his. To freedom, I say. And to the life she can never touch again. Maya laughs, shaking her head. Poetic, as always. I watch them, feeling the warmth of connection, the weight of years of betrayal lifting. I realize now that closure isn't found in confrontation, in revenge, or even in forgiveness, it's found in growth. In reclaiming every piece of yourself that was lost. The sun streams through the windows, bathing the room in light. I feel steady, strong, and whole. The mistakes of the past, the heartbreak, the lies, they've shaped me, yes. But they haven't broken me. Not anymore. And in that moment, I finally accepted, letting go is the strongest form of closure. I smile, taking a sip of coffee. The city hums below, my friends laugh around me, and I know this is my life now. Unstoppable. Unshakable. Untouchable. And Lena, she will never, ever reach this world I've built. I saw the notification on my phone, an old message from Lena. Hey, can we talk? I need you. I stared at it for a long moment, feeling the old pull in my chest. Then I smiled faintly and said aloud, more to myself than anyone, not anymore. I tapped the message, read it one last time. No anger. No longing. Just clarity. You've taught me what I needed, I whispered. But it's not forgiveness for you I'm seeking, it's for me. I hit delete. The screen went blank. And I felt lighter, unshackled. Jonas' voice echoed from the apartment below, laughing with Maya and Rafi. I leaned against the railing, looking out at the city lights. The night was calm, quiet, perfect. You've come a long way, Aiden, I said softly. You're finally free. A cool breeze brushed my face. I closed my eyes, letting it wash over me. Every memory, every scar, every heartbreak, it had led me here. I could forgive myself now, for trusting, for loving, for surviving. Thank you, I whispered to the empty air. For everything. Even the pain. I stepped closer to the edge of the rooftop, looking out over the city, feeling the wind on my face. I didn't feel lonely. I felt alive. Strong. Whole. Some people break you, I thought, but sometimes, that's how you learn to rebuild yourself. Stronger. Better. Untouchable. I took a deep breath, letting the night hold me. Calm, proud, certain. I didn't need anyone else to validate me. Not her, not the past. I whispered one last time, to the memory, to the city, to myself, goodbye. And with that, I turned away from the edge, feeling the warmth of life I had earned, my life, untouchable, mine alone.